Good day and warm salutations from the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas, a state where bluebonnets adorn open fields in the spring and where you can find canyons, caves, and islands, along with the flattest plains and the roughest mountains. Yes, we do have mountains in Texas. We're Ann Green, Lana Newman Cruzy, and James Yarborough, and we heartily invite you to join us here at We've Got Books. And yes, we have mounds and mounds of books waiting for you in a variety of genres, definitely something for everyone.
Hello, I'm Ann Green.
And again, I'm Lana Newman Cruzy. Our colleague, James Yarborough, is out today, but he definitely says hi. We've Got Books is guaranteed to be informative and fun. It is our pleasure to feature guest authors and their books along with our books too. You'll become acquainted with real authors and learn why they write, what prompted them to begin their career, and how they create those memorable characters and stories. We'll chat with each author and get to know the person and the novel. We promise to delight you with great Christian fiction. And you can find all the books mentioned here on Amazon.com. And now Ann Green is set to interview our guest author today, Doralyn Moore. So grab your coffee or tea, cola or ice water, and sit back and enjoy this exciting ride into the literary world.
Doralyn, welcome to We've Got Books. We're so glad to have you with us today. Could you start by telling us a little about yourself?
Hello, Anne and Len. I'm really happy to be with you today. For over 35 years, I worked in social services with diverse populations. Before I retired in 2019, I had done some writing and produced a few manuscripts. But however, after many rejections, I gave up. But after I retired, I dug up those old manuscripts and reworked them. And I self-published my first book, and the other three are traditionally published by Elk Lake Publishing in Plymouth, Massachusetts. My most recent book was released in December of 2024.
Well, congratulations. That's a
Thank
very interesting backstory. What genre do you write?
I write contemporary Christian fiction, and my books deal with such issues as addiction, teenage pregnancy, adoption, abortion, and forgiveness.
Why do you write? And is writing fun for you?
The reason I write is to share through my stories the goodness and faithfulness of God and his power in breaking bondage through Jesus. And the odd thing is that writing is not always fun. Sometimes it's frustrating. And developing characters and character arcs, plot lines, settings, points of view, and making sure I'm showing rather than telling can be challenging. What's the most fun for me, though, is when a character develops a mind of its own and takes the story in a direction I hadn't planned. When that happens, I usually let the character go, and it's fun to see where we end up.
I agree. Very true. I have that same experience when writing a book. It's a bit like watching a movie in your mind. Can you give us some details about one of your books?
I'll give you some details about the most recent book, which is called Cause to Triumph. It's the third and last book of a three-book trilogy it's in the Victory series. Even though it's part of a trilogy, each book can stand alone. And just to give you just a brief synopsis, on a whim, Anne Marie Bailey and her boyfriend, Liam O'Sullivan, decided to get married on a trip to Las Vegas. Liam is a chartered professional accountant, and everything goes well until one of his clients is arrested for money laundering, and Liam is subpoenaed to testify at his trial. After an attempt on Liam's life, the couple run for their lives. In university, Anne Marie became pregnant as a result of a one night stand, and she had an abortion. And in her mind, the problem, in quotation marks, was solved. However, feelings of guilt constantly plague her. Will it take losing everything before she can forgive herself?
From that excerpt, I think listeners can tell you're not pulling punches. You're writing about realities of a fallen world. So that leads me to ask, do you have a favorite Bible verse?
I do. My favorite Bible verse is in Jeremiah 29:11. I know the plans that I have for you, declares Yahweh. They are plans for peace and not disaster, plans to give you a future filled with hope. In September 2022, my husband of 51 years passed away. This verse has been a pillar of support. Even in the midst of loss, God's plans for me are good, and I know that He will never leave me or forsake me.
I'm very sorry for your loss, but I think God gave you a very comforting verse. Now, please tell us a bit about why you write Christian fiction.
I write Christian fiction because I want people to know the love and forgiveness that's provided for them through the death and resurrection of Jesus. I want them to know about the goodness and faithfulness of God, the one who always causes us to triumph in Him. And through my characters and the challenges I put them through, readers can see that only Christ can meet the deepest longings of the human heart.
That is so true. Can you share about the theme of one of your other books?
The first book I wrote is titled 70 times 7. And it, of course, it refers to that scripture verse that Jesus told Peter that we need to forgive 70 times 7, not just 7 times. And of course, that's the theme of forgiveness. The protagonist has been sexually and physically abused by her stepfather. And however can she forgive him? Will she trust anyone again? Her journey to forgiveness is not an easy one, but along the way, she learns God's grace is greater than her bitterness and pain.
Oh, that sounds like a book a lot of people would like to read. Doralyn, do you have hobbies?
It's not a hobby. I don't think you could call it a hobby, but I love to read as well as write. To take a break from my writing every day, I go to my favorite coffee shop. I order a cup of tea and a treat, and I read a book. And I like clean romance. I like thrillers and mysteries. And I also enjoy a good spy story.
Well, it is nice to get out with people and take a break. Where can we find your books?
My books are available on Amazon and Kindle. My website and blog, I do write a blog, and you can find it at www.doralynmoore, Doralyn, Moore, Moore.ca. And my blog has two sections, Walking with Jesus and The Joy of Writing. I send out a bi-monthly newsletter which talks about the writing process, new book releases, and upcoming speaking engagements and podcasts. I usually add some humor and every so often a recipe or two in my newsletter. And if you're interested in it, you can sign up on my website contact page. You can also find me on Facebook, on X, and Goodreads. And just for your information, I am available for speaking engagements to women's and church groups, and anyone interested can contact me through my website.
Well, thank you, Doralyn. for a wonderful interview.
Hi, it's Lana Newman Cruzy again. Well, as happens all too often, our time has gone by in a flash. So we must bid farewell from deep in the heart of Texas and hope you've enjoyed your time with us as much as we've enjoyed having you. Join us next time when we interview our very own author, Anne Green, about her contemporary romantic suspense, A Small Voice. I'm Lana Newman Cruzy with Anne Green saying goodbye for now and read a good book for enlightenment, edification, encouragement, or for laugh out loud entertainment. We hope you'll choose one of our fabulous books from We've Got Books. See you next time and keep reading.